we go.
Only because it is.
I used to do a lot of doodling and drawing, lots of figures, lots of pinup girls, things like that, like would see in magazines and stuff. I wouldn't mind looking like that. Gold.
Pretty close to me.
Got it?
Yeah, we're rolling. Go ahead.
We need to go to the next, or did you get that one?
Yep.
Or does it matter?
Got it.
Okay.
Oh, that's about,
It says 9th grade, 1950, but I've got two in 9th grade now, a
yeah,
year
I
apart.
think that's 10th grade.
So 15 almost.
That's about the same kind of year as that.
State queen.
So that's you getting
I was
crowned
the
with flowers.
queen.
Yep.
Yep.
Queen of the recent Utah State Junior
Golden Green Ball.
Golden
I
Green
went
Ball.
with Michael and
How did you
I
get
came
to
home
queen?
with Kay.
She's the best.
It was trial by combat.
It's kind of like the Hunger Games.
And there's me. It's probably the 10th grade or 11th.
Aw.
It's good. You
Oh,
look like
wow, you're so cute. I
you
love
look like
you.
James Dean.
Look at all that hair. Okay, take a look at our shoes. Those are called step platters, and they're Joy shoes, and they were very, very popular. And we wore
Apparently.
long, skinny skirts and Jansen sweaters. Those are Jansen sweaters, and I
Had to be
made Peter
Jansen.
Pan collars to go with my Jansen sweaters. And I would work for months to buy them and put 50 cents a week down on it until I paid for them.
And where is that located?
Front of the high school and lower campus.
Okay.
Who's the friend?
Shannon Nichols, it says.
Her father was president of the biggest bank in Provo.
She's wearing anklets.
About that same time, we were invited to go up to BYU dances and serve refreshments to the college kids dancing. And this was one of those nights. That's what I was wearing when I was.
Oh, goodness.
And that's Kay. He was a nice.
Vanquish
That's
you.
your boyfriend?
Vanquish. Yes,
Yeah, he was 3 years older than me.
he
He
looks
graduated from
40.
high school when I graduated from
Gosh.
junior high.
He just died, did he?
Yeah, he just died a couple of weeks ago.
You I like the huge collar.
Yeah, you
That
chose
is-
well. The collar, yeah, that
He
Yeah,
had a,
and the fact that it's buttoned up.
right
with no
out.
tie.
we went someplace, and that's Sybil in her long skinny skirt on the end,
Where
Too
I-
bad.
and
Are
then
you
Dad
in
and
the white
Mother.
Everybody but Jack.
Yeah, and Jack's not there.
And
Me and
Kathy's just kind
Peg,
of behind.
and
behind-
Kathy's hiding behind Peg.
Where's Jack?
I
I
haven't
don't
seen
know.
any of these
Ooh.
pictures
Ooh,
before.
broody.
Real cream.
That
Very
was
do
junior
you.
year,
Dean.
wasn't it, Alan?
Yeah, probably
That's
was,
Broder's
yeah.
It
now.
says junior high
Yeah.
school, 16 years old, but that's
No,
not
That's
junior high
what
school.
it's high school,
I'm
junior
gonna take a
and
picture.
high school.
Leave
Yeah.
that one there.
Junior, high school.
Leave that one there for a second. We found Broder.
That's,
Tell Broder to do the same road cream thing.
He is.
yeah,
With
you
the hair that he has left.
I
They
used
all
to
look like
put
Hitler
real
Youth.
cream on my hair every morning.
Real cream.
And that
Dabble
would be
do.
my junior year picture. on that.
Junior in high school.
Uh-huh.
11th grade, it says.
Very nice.
Okay, this is where I got my private license.
Pilot's
I was
license.
17.
What time of the year? Your birthday?
He's trying to get it from him, but he's like, I don't know if you're ready.
Yeah, Mike's like, no, no, no.
Mike was giving it to me because he's the one that gave me the check ride. That's George down there on the
Oh yeah, George the dog.
George's dog.
I like the stylish rolled up Levi's.
He's got that in a lot of pictures.
They look like Danny Zuto.
And there's Corrine, I met her when I was a sophomore, and she was my best friend for years and years and years. I was her maid of honor when she got married.
She has angry eyes.
No, she
Can't help
doesn't.
it.
She's really
I know. It just looks like she's like
just, just, we
glaring
just
at
had a
you.
really good relationship. There's Kay, 'cause he played BY High football.
Oh, well, Faith was she.
Jack was in the same team as a ninth grader.
So mom would go to watch Jack.
Yeah, of course.
She went to Provo
This
High,
is
she
the
didn't
day
go
that
to
Mother
BY
and
High
Dad
for
left
nothing.
for Iran.
Hmm.
And Aunt Sadie's husband, Uncle Boyer, Del Boyer, Dr. Boyer is what we called him. He was an osteopath. He took them up to Salt Lake. This is what our high school front
That's
steps were
Provo High
like.
School front steps.
And that was the
class?
graduating class, and Dad's in the square, and I was in Iran.
Missed your graduation.
And I never got my
So
diploma.
tell all those kids that are suffering.
Well,
so
now do we have to
dreadfully
do a Grandma
Grandma
Fulmer on
thing,
you?
no.
that they can know.
I didn't know
they
that.
are identified.
It's Preston Rigby.
And Mr. Rigby is the one I said, hey, I've got a boyfriend who's getting too serious and I don't want to. And if I had somebody else to go with, I could say, no, I'm busy. And I said, who should I go with? And he says, what do you want to do? And I says, I don't want a popular boy. They're all stuck on themselves. I want somebody I can have fun with and never get serious with. Why don't you go with Alan? I don't think he goes with girls, does he? Doesn't matter. There's
Wow.
always a first time.
Don't
And
go
so-
You have something to tell us?
there. Don't go
That's the news
So
to me.
anyway, This is
You're almost
this is
84 years
all-
old and coming out.
This is all yearbook art. The next year was when I asked him, because I didn't remember Alan was in yearbook art that year. Because we didn't
Was
work
Dad-
together. We
was
were all
Dad just
working on our
quiet
own
or something?
sections.
Were you
and-
quiet, Dad?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, this is Three Jackson and Jill.
Or well, if you edit or if you crop it right.
3 Jacks and a Jill.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, there's 4 there.
That
yeah,
was
that's you got to crop
that
the
was
one
the
on the left
one of
off,
the
'cause
first things we did when we got to Tehran.
We
They,
apparently don't
Dad
know who
took
that
us
is.
out to this place and let us ride on the donkeys. This is in the Garden Tomb in
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem, and I had to wear that skirt everywhere because I couldn't pack it.
Yeah,
That's a circle skirt. That's what I
big
like to
circle
wear.
Skirt.
Yep.
She didn't have room to put it anywhere else.
And Aunt Vera and Uncle Marion were in Amman, Jordan, like Mother and Dad were in Tehran. So they came and took us to Jerusalem. And they had just had the 6-day war, and we couldn't go into a lot of places. So we couldn't go to the Sea of Galilee. We couldn't go to a lot of places. We saw Shepherd's Field. We saw Bethlehem. We saw parts of Jerusalem.
This is the garden tomb.
This is the Garden Tomb. See that round circle?
Mm-hmm.
That was what was left from the rock or the stone that
yeah.
rolled.
Mm.
But now pictures of Garden Tomb, that much is gone because people kept shaving little bits off
Oh,
for
for
souvenirs.
souvenirs.
Yeah, what could it hurt?
Yeah.
There it is
And
again.
then, and Vera always said, "Well, hold this scarf because it's better in the picture to have some tone."
She's right.
And Vera.
It makes her stand right out.
This is up on Shepherd's Field, the hill above Bethlehem. And that's what they think might have been a cave for the sheep to be in and the shepherds. And we went down to the Dead Sea and it was blistery hot, blistery. And I couldn't get the camera to work. Hurry up, Jill. Hurry up. I'm dying
Ow,
here.
ow.
Hurry, ow.
There's your passport.
It's our passport.
Oh,
So what's with the really, really nice photograph
That,
of the passport?
yeah,
Dazzle.
Yeah.
that's my senior picture.
That's just the way she
So
looks.
you look blonde there all of a sudden.
I bleached my hair. I didn't mean to, but it ended up being that way.
It was greenish tint.
Oh,
And that's
what a dude.
that's your freshman
Freshman
picture, isn't it?
BYU picture.
Yeah.
Is there anything I need to tell you?
Look at you.
That's not bad.
And then this was in our high school newspaper. And he was in the senior committee planning the dances that he would go to.
It said Firmage in the back.
And Gloria in the dark hair in front, they were married. And then he went on a mission after he was married. He was Hugh B. Brown's grandson. Aren't you cute? That was your senior picture, wasn't it?
How did you learn to comb your hair just like that?
It's
I mean,
skill.
that takes talent to make
Sadly,
it.
real cream
Yeah.
causes
That
baldness, but
Yeah, how do you know that you didn't wave?
I didn't know that.
This is the eye of the needle
Oh yeah,
gate
the needle gate.
leading to the garden tomb. It's the north side of Jerusalem. And this is the
Golgotha.
Calvary.
Golgotha, because there are two eye
kind of
Yeah.
caves
like an eye
and
here, maybe an eye here. and
right
a
in
nose.
there, the
Yeah.
Right
last
there.
place that you look.
Right there.
Anyway,
That was the left
it
eye.
forms a skull more than
Here.
No, to the
more than it shows in this picture.
Yeah.
And then on top there's a cemetery now, and around behind is the garden tomb.
Hmm.
This is just a street in Jerusalem. There's Jack. This is Mount of Olives and looking toward the.
Walls of Jerusalem.
Yeah. Across the valley.
This is Versailles. Still in my
Wow.
blue
You're
skirt.
not holding
You
the red
see.
scarf.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, Aunt Vera's not there. This is my
Movie star
Famous.
picture.
18-year-old picture from
Is
Biddle
that what they use the
Studios.
portrait?
That's
To
your
paint the
graduation
portrait?
picture, isn't it?
It looks
Yeah,
like a
that's what the
portrait, yeah.
portrait was painted from.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite pictures.
And that's up in the garden tomb.
Oh, yeah,
on
'cause
the
that
other
Aunt
side.
Vera must have been there.
Where I'm sitting would be the tomb, and then that's the other direction.
Hmm.
And this is this legislative council, and I was where the green point is, and Anne is in front with the pet club uniform on.
And,
That
oh,
one.
and
This one.
And pay.
Am I in there?
Nope, you didn't go to legislative
Well, I
council.
didn't think I did. I went at something.
Somebody from every first.
Apparently,
First
this
period.
is after shop class.
No, this is this. We had to do something. In,
Ah,
this is one that they said it was for teachers, elementary teachers. Okay, draw your own left hand. All right, I'll draw my own left.
where's your thumb?
well, it was tucked
Inside.
under apparently.
You were engaged
Just
apparently.
like that. No, Corinne had given me a friendship ring.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there was that Alan Harris letter to me.
Dear Jill. Dear John.
Well, how are you, stranger? Do you realize that I haven't heard from you for?
In
Over
over a
a
month.
month.
From you in over a month. So Apparently
And Randy
somebody-
said hello to me.
yeah,
Oh,
Randy.
Randy.
That's Randy scribbling.
Yeah,
That's
and it doesn't even say
Hurry
sincerely
home,
Alan L.
honey,
Harris on
and
it.
keep.
What is
Yeah,
it?
it's just.
What is
Ooh,
this?
My
okay,
kisses.
This,
Wow.
you can't see me in this picture, but that's my skirt in Athens.
Athens.
So
That's
that
some guy.
picture could very well go.
Oh, whatever. It's
You remember the
that's
guy?
fun to
These
look
are
at.
refugees
Go,
outside of Jerusalem that they were protesting all the time. Then they were refugees from. And this is the trip that Alan and I took the day that Mother and Dad got home from
Mankind
Iran.
Temple.
And Alan had to have a cross country with so many points that he went to.
Uh-huh.
And so this was one of the places we went past in a 120, Alan.
Probably.
Yeah.
There's a picture of it later.
There's St.
There's
George.
St. George.
St. George,
circa
Manti, St. George.
1955.
Look at the
There's
bare
nothing there.
lots.
Yeah, that was,
Then we went to Las Vegas. We went to Bryce Canyon. There's Las
Wow,
Vegas.
Las Vegas.
these are the strip hotels.
That's on the strip, man.
At
That
that
is
point,
downtown
if you just
Las
had
Vegas.
bought a plot of land,
Isn't that the
guys,
truth?
I know.
They were like motels.
That's the
The
Thunderbird.
casinos
you
were
should
like
have bought
motels.
some land.
Thunderbird Hotel and the Sahara.
And so,
We were too young
and
to
so
get
we,
in.
yeah, we couldn't go into
Couldn't
any
go
of
into
them
it because you
we
were too
were
young for the
underage.
casino. Casinos.
Chico Marx.
Yeah, Riviera.
Woody Herman.
The Riviera. Oh, Woody Herman, nice.
And so Jack told Mother and Dad that we had gone to Las Vegas to get married.
Because
We
he's
So
not
we-
a rabble rouser at all.
went
So we
into
sat on the outside
Desert
of the
Inn.
casino.
Pool.
The pool at the Desert Inn.
That's what it looked like.
There's
And that's when we landed, that it was just getting dusk.
It's a 120.
So he took you to Las Vegas and back.
What's
Yeah.
140?
Is that your car out there? Is that
Yeah, you
your
told me it
dad's
was
car?
a 140, so that's what
It's
I've
got
got
a rear
written down.
window in it. Quarter window. 120 was straight up.
That's the YSI fly photo.
This is the dance we went to when we were freshmen.
If you go to a dance,
That's called Photoshop for
Well, it's-
free computer kids.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. You're too young, kid. So that picture wasn't actually in the paper. I put about what he looked
Oh,
like at that
yeah.
at the. But it says he's gone on to get his commercial, and he's still too young to fly anything that he's qualified for. That's my Aunt Flora in at the front of her house. It was 56 West, 4th North, and our house was 56 West, 5th North.
Hmm.
And that was me, and I had a Merry Widow's waist cincher on.
yeah,
I wondered
breathe?
how they do that.
every 2 or 3
I would put one of those on and still.
minutes you'd have to
like that.
quit and learn how to breathe.
No.
That's why women
Or
would
what
faint.
under my wedding dress.
And I didn't join his social unit, but I was in Spurs, which was a scholastic service unit, and then I was in the YCs. That's the YCs picture.
Oh, it's a little bit.
My
junior
I was
year.
about
Like
to say
a-
that. I was about to say Megan.
You had to have an A average, and you
Megan,
had
I
to
think. Megan's
be able
right.
to.
Yeah, Megan.
There's your Spurs patch and pin.
Yeah, national Spurs is national. YCs was just BYU.
So it's just like a jacket.
And I
Patch.
don't know what that one's about.
It says for BYU is what you told
Yeah,
me.
If you
probably
ID
probably
picture.
sophomore year or something like that. And that's Corrine and me,
And Paul,
and
And Paul.
Corrine and Paul, and me as the maid of honor, and then the other girls were in yellow. I was in lavender.
Hmm.
at their wedding. Huh?
And there's
Oh, there's a room at
Base billets.
That does
Oh,
not say
Mariana.
where, Mariana.
Mariana, Florida.
That's where I stayed.
That's
And
where he
across
didn't
the
get
street, Right
home.
off the end
It's
of
like Butlin's holiday
off the
camp.
end and across the street. Is the
Are you
headquarters
sure that's
for
not
the-
Butlin's holiday camp?
It looked
So that's
like
where
a-
you were an aviation cadet, huh?
You know the picture of him with the
Pretty small.
squatting with the airplane that he built. He built it in that.
Oh, that's coming.
Okay.
Just
There you
cadet
are as a
boards.
cadet.
An aviator cadet.
And there he is on the bottom next to the left
Yeah.
end.
Right there.
And he
Sure.
was the top gun in that class.
You remember? This is where I made.
But
the
that looks
airplane.
like Davy a bit to me.
Yeah,
That
it
picture.
does.
That's-
Nice.
yeah,
Why, yes, I fly.
Apparently, you have to learn to sit like that a lot because a lot of Air Force guys do that.
and we
Why
had
is
to-
that? Is that a rule? That looks like David.
It looks a little more
Myself.
like him in that
I've
one.
never seen that picture. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know what. It's just everybody.
What would be the purpose of wearing the headset without any kind of other flight helmet kind of thing?
Yeah, if you're in a not an ejection seat. It's a lot more comfortable.
It's that,
And that's when he
Beach, what do
came
you call it?
home
T
from
34. Or,
Tick.
T-34, yeah.
from Texas, and he was fat as a little butterball compared to when he went in, because he couldn't eat anything and he was just drink milk. That was in Mariana.
There's the airplane.
And there's one of the,
so is that
Is that
doorway the
airplane in
Yeah.
here?
same doorway
No.
from
Yeah.
the earlier
no,
picture?
that's the one that was hanging in the
Is that
ceiling
me?
at the pole,
Yeah, I
the
wish.
airport.
Yeah, and then he
Oh,
hung it at the
Is it a
airport.
pit special?
Then it disappeared and it didn't ever get an engine in it because I couldn't afford an engine.
It just disappeared. Someone took it.
Now that's the Alan that I like to see.
That's
Cadet still.
that's a cadet picture where everybody's the same rank.
Yeah.
They put two stripes. There's T-28.
T28.
That's T-28.
28.
That's T-34.
That would have been fun.
Award of Merit.
Graham Air Base.
Outstanding achievement in training. He was number 1 in his class again.
Apparently they didn't know how to spell your first name though.
That it's been pandemic in the whole of his
Where's
life.
his name? Oh,
ALLAN.
Yeah, they always. There's
it's
the
very small.
there's
There's
the rooms
the
at
That's all it is.
Q's
Mariana.
at Mariana.
Richard Bach was one of my
That's
classmates.
exactly what it looks like.
Jonathan Livingston Seagull author.
It was,
Yes.
The one we went to was in Wales.
That's my Chris. That's who you're named after, Christy.
Oh, she looks like Peter Pan.
Christy, her name's Florence Christie, and she went by Chris.
Florence Christie.
And so now
Could be
she's
worse.
Yeah,
Christy.
you could have been
Rick.
I could have
Florence.
been Florence.
And you remember Elder Ricks in
Thank you.
in
I don't even
France,
like flow.
Christy?
So thank you very much.
Christy, do you remember Elder Ricks in
Yeah. His mom.
in Montbeliard? That was her son. And he called one day and said, is Brother Johnston there? And I said, no, he isn't. Could I take a message? And he said, well, this is Elder Ricks. And I said, oh, Elder Ricks, are you from Provo? And he says, no. And I said, oh, I know some Ricks in Provo. And he says, no. Actually, I'm from California. And I thought, Chris is in California. So I said, is your mother Christy? Is your dad Gary? And he said, yes. And I said, do you know that Sister Johnston was named after your mother?
He was the elder in our ward at that time.
This is after I came back from San Francisco. Dad was still in flight training, going through all kinds of heck.
Heck.
Yeah.
Where's heck?
He was going there for all kinds of heck.
Lackland.
Lackland that's
This is the basic.
yeah, this is
Welcome to the
airman
military.
base
We own you.
place where
This is where they tried to wash everybody out by treating them so bad.
Yeah.
you had to graze.
It's good for you.
He'll be sitting down and these are my roommates in the
That was
in the
not true.
Mariana.
Maybe Indian.
So we're back at Mariana.
I
Yeah.
might be Indian.
But I,
Yeah, there I am.
T28.
Didn't get in the T-33, so the next base.
I don't know why that one's still got the dark line. That might be the only picture I have to scan off of.